Alright, good evening. It's Saturday night, which means one thing. We are live here with the Cyber Racing Association's Homes Now, Not Later Super Speedway Series, where tonight, just like last week, we do have another special sponsor, and this is going to be another special race here. Tonight, we're going to be doing the Hope for Paws 230. Matthew Welsenbach was kind enough to throw in some extra sponsorship here, so tonight here at Talladega, with the open trucks where we're set to go 90 laps, the stages will be 30, 60, and the final one being lap 90. As always, these guys have one quick repair. They go by the iRacing Lucky Dog only, or you must stay out in front of the leader for the free pass. No more wave buys. They are limited on fuel. And I think the most notable thing is that it's just going to be good to be back finally on U.S. soil after, although it was very entertaining, and I think you'll agree, Mike, the Cannons and Monza, where I think we actually have to also hold a memorial for Matt Quick there, because he did go from almost 200 miles an hour to negative speed very fast.
I hope Wingo puts on the schedule every season, because that is so much fun to watch. It's just constant death.
Well, the truck race, it seems the truck race turned out better than the K&N did. With that K&N, it was amazing to see the cars hitting almost 225 miles an hour in the corner, but watching that left front go from almost coil bound to completely off the ground on corner entrance, that proved to be the undoing of a lot of drivers. But it did set us up for a great finish, which tonight I think is going to be no exception. We're at Talladega. This is a track these guys are probably approaching the 10,000 lap mark here. I mean, it's open trucks, 3 lanes of racing, when in reality there's about 5 if you do it right. 4 in the corners, at least 5 through the tri-oval. But they never fail to put on the show here at Talladega or Daytona. And honestly, I think we see a little bit more diversity here with the open truck setup versus the K&N, seeing how K&N set is fixed. All they do run off a league set versus just the stock iRacing one. But it'll be 90 laps tonight, and we have 3 laps set up in the event for 1 green-white checker attempt. Looking at the times right now in practice, fastest on the board is the 2 of Rick Seabrands with a 48.394, followed up by the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer with a 48.417, the 54 of Chris Eggers with a 48.422, the 66 of Bobby Tinch with a 48.435, and rounding out the top 5 will be Jim Peterson with a 48.441. And it's kind of hard to believe that we're already this far into the season here. It does not seem that we have been going at it this long, but we're already coming close, almost to the halfway point. And it's been a hell of a ride, I gotta say that, especially with the 2 Monza races thrown in. Those were definitely like the wild card playoff races, but it was definitely fun to see them in the trucks. And last week with the K&Ns, it was pure, well, it was insanity, but it was entertainment as well.
Yeah, I've never seen a K&N car bunny hop until last week.
I've never seen one hit a wall and then go from almost 200 miles an hour forward to 23 miles an hour in reverse. Alright, so as the timer is going to run out here, we're going to advance the session and we will move into qualifying. Now these drivers will have 2 laps to get out there and give it their best shot. Although technically due to iRacing, it's 3 laps. That includes the out lap. See the 88 of Gregory Thompson making his way out on the track, as well as the 54 of Chris Akers. And I'm glad to see that my favorite paint job is back, that Mac Bulldog. See the 16 of Chris Brown. Take a look now at the 26 of Daniel Holloway there in the pedigree dog food machine. Now we see the 66 of Bobby Tinch. All right, while these guys are out getting their laps done, we're going to bring in the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, as he is tonight's race sponsor with the Hope for Paws. He's been running that as a sponsor for a long time, and we're going to let him basically just give you guys a little brief rundown of what they're all about. All right, Matt, you got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, sir?
Not too bad. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Pretty good. Looking forward to this race. We're going to have fun tonight.
Well, we brought you up here seeing how you came on board as an additional sponsor, and this is the Hope for Paws 230, so go ahead and give the viewers out there a little bit of insight of what the organization is all about.
Basically, it's an organization I've supported based in Los Angeles, California. It's a pet rescue organization I've supported for, I think over 5 years. I've, supported them, donated to them, just kind of, whenever somebody wants to really find a good animal to adopt that is really needed of some love, I always say, hey, go check these guys out. They work with different rescue, fostering organizations all around Los Angeles to help place dogs, cats. I've seen them rescue bunnies and, all kinds of different, animals that just really need that love. I'm like I said, I'm a big, all for adoption and not buying a dog, there's so many dogs out there that and cats that just need that love. And Dwayne said it earlier on his little pre-race video, it's just something about rescuing an animal, you feel like they give you just a little bit more love because they know they had nothing and now they have, a family that will love and care for them and stuff. So just a really good thing. The folks at Hope for Paws, that I highly suggest checking out their YouTube, looking at some of their videos. If it doesn't bring a tear to your eye, there's some, it will bring a tear to your eye. I will say all the videos usually have good endings where they get the dog or the cat and hope, get them recuperated and get them a good loving home. And if not, they tell you where you can go to even adopt one of these animals that they rescue. So it's definitely worth checking out Hope for Paws. And yeah, I love animals. I'm a dog person, so that works itself out.
Well, me and Mike can both attest to that, as we are both avid dog lovers ourselves. But we want to thank you for coming on board as an additional sponsor. Good luck in qualifying, and hopefully we see you at the end here in Victory Lane.
Yeah, that would be nice. Also, big shout out to all the guys tonight that did do a little special paint scheme, either by putting the Hope for Paws logo or Adopt a Pet logo, or even a picture of their own animals on the trucks. Really appreciate the love and support from this league, and everyone just really, we're all one family. We might get pissed off at each other during the race, but just like racers, when we're done, then we all shoot the breeze and have fun and just, go on with our day. So thanks to everybody, and Dwayne for letting me kind of sponsor this race.
That's exactly what we love about this league. You guys are probably about the most hard-charging, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you pissed off, who you turned. If you got wrecked by somebody, at the end of the day, you guys can sit there and talk it out, which is absolutely probably the most best thing you can do. As we see we're getting ready to grid, we're going to cut you loose. And once again, good luck, and hopefully we'll see you in victory lane.
Thank you, sir. I hope to talk to you guys later.
All right, that was the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, which is going to bring us into tonight's starting lineup. And we see we've got a special pace car. We have the iRacing Rough out on the track here. So tonight's starting lineup. I know, it doesn't, does it? We've got the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. sitting on pole. To his outside will be the 3 and fellow teammate of Paul Servin. Starting third tonight will be the 4 of Justin Levine. To his outside and 4th spot, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. Rolling off 5th will be the 88 of Gregory Thompson. Matthew Welsenbach, who we just spoke with, in the 29 will be starting from 6th spot. The 7th spot goes to the 44 of David Anderson. Rick Seabrands in the 2 will roll off 8th. The 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, 9th. The 54 of Chris Akers is going to round out the top 10. Pondo Co in the 20 starts 11th tonight. Daniel Jackson in the 72, 12th. The 18 of Gary Champion will roll off from 13th. The 89 of Matt Quick will start 14th. The 58 of Jim Peterson rolls off 15th. Daniel Holloway in the 26 will start from the 16th position. Tom LeBar in the 99, he's got a new paint scheme this week. He will roll off from 17th spot. The 66 of Bobby Tinch rolls off 18th. Jeremy Funk in the 97 will start from the 19th position. Chris Brown in the 16 will round out the 20. Dana Osborne in the 8 will start from 21st. Jason Roadbush, good to see him back after a long absence here. He will start from the 22nd position. Artie Peterson Jr., good to see him back as well, as he was absent from Monza. He will start in 23rd. The 80 of PJ O'Leary will start 24th. Abbas Ladak in the 7 will start from the 25th spot. Jason Kinsler in the 11 will roll off 26th, and that'll round out the field. So, Mike, we got some drivers that we haven't seen in a while and a couple new guys here. What do you think we're going to see here in the first stage?
You know, this is the weirdest league, because you would assume the first segment would be kind of mellow, but we've seen recently it's been a little bit aggressive. It's going to be interesting to see what some of these new guys can bring, and some of the guys that haven't been here for a while can bring.
And I know damn well that they did not let Brett Bodine behind the wheel of a Rough, because I know the clock on the dashboard is worth more than what he makes in a year.
Well, my question is, where's he going to store his beer? The trunk's in the front of the thing.
Yeah, and it's also a 2-seater too, so he's really screwed. The Mustang, at least, he had the back seat, he had the passenger seat. He's kind of out of his element here. We might actually have Emerson Fittipaldi. He might have wanted to come over stateside and see what we're all about over here, oval-wise. As we are on the pace lap here, see the field on the backstretch. We're about a half a lap away from taking the green flag here as we get a look there at the number 20 InfoWars machine. That is Pondo Co. Now we see the 87 Raymond Rittenhauer. As always, we like doing our crank it up cameras here. So once the pace car hits turns 3 and 4, we're going to go ahead. Well, I shouldn't say pace car because that's a race car. Once the pace race car hits turn 3 here, we're going to go ahead and switch it up to the crank it up camera here and get you guys a couple laps of non-stop insanities. These trucks are extremely loud, even though they're at such a wide open area here at Talladega Superspeedway. All right, as the pace car makes its way out of turn 4 into the massive tri-oval, we see the field hot on its... That is Brett Bodine, I see him. I don't know why they put him behind the controls of a Rough, but whatever. He's diving down pit road. The 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to lead us into the initial start of the race here, so get ready to crank it up.
Ready, green flag, green flag.
All right, as we get a couple laps in here, we are looking right now at the battle for 13th position. That's going to be between the 26, the 18, and the 20 here. All right, now as we're now 3 laps into the race here, we can see we've got 3 out of the 4 Southern Thunder guys up front, but what I'm noticing is that's 8. Usually we see Dana right up there in the mix. He's rolling right there right now, being scored in 20th spot out of 25 drivers here, so maybe Dana's got a little bit of a strategy going on right now as we take a look at the 44 of David Anderson right now being scored in 8th position. We get this nice shot of them peeling off of turn 4 here. See Dave still rocking the reverse paint scheme. He used to run the Richard Petty colors there on that 44 famous Dave's barbecue sauce machine. Now he's running the red and white, which I kind of like that one. You're going to notice several vehicles if you tune in every week that have slightly different paint jobs here. As once again we have the graphic down in the lower right corner here. We are doing the Hope for Paws 230 here tonight. We see a little bit of 3 wide coming out of turn 4 there. That's going to be the 58 of Jim Peterson up there. Meanwhile, we've had a position change up front as the 4 of Justin Levine has managed to get around the 3 of Paul Servant, as now they're going to be battling here coming off of turn 2. You see the push there from the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Behind him, the 88 of Gregory Thompson. You can see the 3 and the 00. Those are both teammates right there. The 3 of Paul Servant and the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. As we see a third line starting to form here as well. We can definitely see that they're wasting no time here in stage 1. We do have a third lane going here. This is what I love about these guys. As you can see right there on the 4 truck of Justin Levine, he is running a special Hope for Paws paint scheme there. That is definitely a badass looking Chevy Silverado right there. As well as the 3 of Paul Servant, he's changed up. Normally you see the Oreo logo there on the hood of that 3 machine. He is also running a special logo there. See also there on the 99 of Tom LeVar, he's got the Die Hard Live logo as well as the 3 of Paul Servant. Now we see the 00 Dwayne Cooper. He's the odd man out there on that outside groove.
You know, Art, everything I said in the pre-race, I lied.
Well, these guys have one hell of a knack of doing something that no other league can do. Every time we say something, they do the exact opposite and prove us wrong.
Yeah, it's almost like they listen and like, you know, oh, we got a wreck in the back.
And no caution as of yet. So we will stay green flag throughout this. Once we get a number on who it was, we'll try and go ahead and give you guys a replay of it, but the iRacing caution did not come out, so therefore we will stay green flag. This is a 3-way tie here, so we're going to go back and we're going to look at the 00 here. backed up quite a bit. We can see right here, Dwayne is sitting on the inside here. This is where he gets stranded to the outside. But this will be between the 00, the 18, and the 72. And while we're watching the replay here, they are catching lap traffic. The first victim will be the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, but right now we're focused on the 00, Dwayne Cooper, to see what exactly happened here in the back of the pack, which did not, unfortunately, bring out the caution. See a little bit of contact there. Great job by the 18 of Gary Champion and the 72 of Daniel Jackson. As we see, it's just a little bit of a pinch there by the 00. As we are back live now, we can see the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. leading the charge on the outside line, being pushed by the 4 of Justin Levine. And as they come out of turn 4, it looked like Mark was going to drop down there, but he's going to stay up in the higher groove, bring Justin and the 54 of Chris Akers with him. We see also the 2 of Rick Seabrands, the 88 of Gregory Thompson. And surprise, surprise, look at that. Right behind Rick, we've got the 8 of Dana Osborne. So he wasted no time getting from the back to the front. I think he just wanted a challenge tonight.
Took him 10 laps, but he went from 21st to 5th.
I'm not an expert at math, but I think that is 16 positions.
That's a lot.
That is a hell of a lot to make in 10 laps. Now, once again, tonight's stages will be at lap 30, 60, and then the final checkered flag will come out at lap 90. And we do have 3 laps, once again, allocated for the event of 1 green-white checker attempt. We can see the majority of the field is lumped here in this front pack here. We do have a secondary pack back there. Not too far off from the lead pack, but these guys are kind of, if they want to catch up, they're going to need to run single file here and just get a single car train going if they want to catch these guys. But at the same token, these guys up here continue to keep going double and possibly maybe even 3 wide here. As we've seen all week throughout the official series, everything, the A, B, and C, they've all been at Talladega, and for some reason, I don't know if it's just iRacing or if it's just drivers don't have the respect that they used to anymore, but I have had the shittiest of luck all week at Dega so far, and I've run all open races, a couple, with the exception of, I think, 2 C-Fix races. You figured the open races would be a lot better, but no. It's basically a 80-lap carb cup that counts towards safety rating and I rating. And usually you have a few wrecks here and there, but nothing to the extent of the way these drivers have been this season. I don't know if it's just a new breed of drivers coming in or if they just don't give a shit anymore, which is why I'm kind of sticking to the league racing and hosting stuff. We see out front, see the 2 of Rick Seabrands. He's taking control there of the low line. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Mike.
Ah, it's all good. I was just saying, about to say, you gotta wonder how many of these guys scheduled vacations around this week knowing they can run Talladega all week.
Well, I know by watching the Cybers Facebook group that they have pulled off a bunch of 1, 2, 3 finishes. I think these guys are probably the most suited at plate racing, and if since I got my phone handy here, while we're watching this unfold, I'll just go ahead and look, and I'll try and get a quick running tally on how many wins so far. As we see right now, the first 3 trucks there on the outside line, it's all Southern Thunder being led by the 3 of Paul Servant there, as they're going to drop down in front of the 2 of Rick Seabrand, so that will give the 3 of Paul Servant the lead back, followed by the 8 of Dana Osborne and the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr.
That was quite an impressive move. Those 3 just made that work so easily.
Well, it's no stranger for these guys. We've seen them, when they get together, they are a lethal combo. Now, finishing the race is a different deal, because sometimes we see the 81 gone, we see the 8 get involved in something, and hell, we've even seen Paul get involved in stuff that he had nothing to do with. And I think right now, the way it sits, Radical's still leading the points here, and they're actually going for 3 team championships in a row. As last season, they clenched back-to-back team championships, so this season they're going for the trifecta. We can see now that everybody in the front pack, minus the 66 of Bobby Tinch, all running single file here. Bobby's going to have to find a spot to drop in. Otherwise, well, actually, with this being open set, I'm not really going to rule it out there unless he gets out too far like that. We see the 4 Justin Levine now stepping out. He's going to come up and try and get to the back bumper there of the 66, but he's going to dump back in. So we've got some green flag pit stops going underway here. So lap 14, we'll see the first set of cars coming down for green flag pit stops here. Meanwhile, we are looking currently at the 8th spot. That was the 88 of Gregory Thompson directly in front of him, the 4 of Justin Levine, the 54 of Chris Akers, and the 2 of Rick Seabrands. Out front, we see it's still the 3 of Paul Servant as they come out of turn 4 here. Now knowing that we've had several drivers peel down pit road, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do here as far as strategy call here in stage 1, as we're coming up about 13 laps from the end of stage 1 here. So I imagine the drivers are going to try and stay out and put as much time on the guys that have already pitted as they possibly can. That way they, as you can see right there, they're just now getting back up to speed after making their way back out on the track. So if they were to pit right now, wouldn't hurt them too bad, but they have to have a lot of guys committed with them to come down. So we see the 2 of Rick Seabrands and pretty much the whole front pack, minus, I do believe, a couple cars. We've got mass exodus coming down pit road. We see the 99 of Tom LeVar. They're locking down that right front tire, making it down on pit road, but he was able to get it woed up. No speeding penalty for him, and no car contact as they make their way to their respective pit stalls here. As we look out front, the race lead has been inherited by the 97 of Jeremy Funk. And it looks like we have a little bit more complication going on to an already complicated race for the 00. He's having all sorts of problems that are getting into his pit stall. As you can see, he's finally in his box, but you can see all the smoke there from going back and forth and back and forth. You know, Mike, I still can't get used to seeing that rough sitting there on pit road.
It is so strange and funny.
It actually is. So right now, as it stands, there's a 16-second gap. As we see now, the last to pit are coming down. As right now we see the 26 of Daniel Holloway. He is making his way down off of pit road. He is being scored right now as the race leader. Behind him we see the 97 of Jeremy Funk, but here comes the 8, the 3, the 81 as they're going to overtake here in turns 1 and 2, which will give the lead over to the 8 of Dana Osborne. You see the 66 of Bobby Tinch there getting shuffled out a little bit there on the backstretch. You see the 16 of Chris Brown there going to the high side to let the leaders by. Go ahead and pull a drop down here. I want to see what the speeds are as these guys are back up to speed after making their scheduled stop. So at the line, let's see if they can hit right around 200. We're seeing 196, 197, 98, 198 was about the peak there. 199 going into turn 1 there, but that is because Dana is punching the hole through the air. Let's go from the 3 and see if he's got a little bit higher speed. Actually, we're gonna go to 66. They do have a run on the outside. As you can see, 200 miles an hour, 201, 202, 203. So Bobby peaked there at 203, being pushed by the 4 of Justin Levine. And looking at tonight, the 66 of Bobby Timmons, he started in 18th. He's currently running in 2nd position. Fastest lap of 48.003. His last lap by was a 48.153. We see the next victim to go a lap down. He's going to make his way up to the high side here on the backstretch, entering 3 here. That'll be the 18 of Gary Champion in that Safelite Auto Chevy Silverado. Meanwhile, as we go to the most exciting, we're looking back at 6th position. That belongs to the 89 of Matthew Quick, the Psychedelic Kitty there on the outside line. And also the Squatty Potty. You got to remember that last season was the Pole Sitter Award. That was the, if you're not number 1, you're number 2. And that, I believe, was Ray Rittenhauer's contribution there for the Pole Award. We had some seriously funny sponsors a few seasons ago. So we see a little bit of a push there. 66 had to branch out, as now we're going to see the 89 of Matthew Quick. He's going to branch out to the outside. That's going to leave it there. If the 2 of Rick Seabrands will let the 89 drop in. Now we see the 4 of Justin Levine. He looked like he was going to take it 3 wide on the outside, but he's just going to flare it out through the corner and then get back in line here. As the lead pack here, pretty much all of the top 10 right there, 2 by 2. Now, I'm not going to say anything that jinxed it, but this has been a great race so far. We had the one odd little incident there. But both drivers, the 18 and the 72, both able to keep control of their vehicles on the backstretch. So we've been clean and green since the start of the race, as we have taken lap 24, 6 laps to the end of stage 1 here. If you're just joining us now, we are live here with the Cyber Racing Association's Home is Now Not Later Super Speedway Series, where tonight we're doing a special race, the Hope for Paws 230. It's actually a little bit more than that. It's 239 point whatever miles, but me and Matthew decided to bring it down to 230 just to bring it to an even number.
Plus it sounds better.
It does. It sounds better than a 240. Unless you have SX behind that, because I'm all about 240 SX.
Agreed.
So as they come to the line to complete lap 24, it'll be the 3 of Paul Servant leading that one on the outside. Now Paul, no stranger to leading a lot of laps here in Cyber. Tonight he has led 10 of the 25. The 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. has led 4. The 8 of Dana Osborne has led 4. Justin Levine in the 4 has led 2. The 2 of Rick Seabrands has led 2 as well. The 26 of Daniel Holloway has led a lap, as well as the 97 of Jeremy Funk. And that will be all the laps so far tonight. We continue to focus on the lead pack here, once again at the line being pushed by his teammate. The 3 of Paul Servant will lead his 11th lap of the night. And Mike just brought up an interesting point. We have 3 separate packs that are racing right now. We've got our top 10 right here. We've got a secondary pack, and then we've got a third pack further back. But everything is going to get leveled here right in about 3.5 laps, as we will see the caution flag come out to end stage 1. As we see, we're going to go 3 wide here in turns 3 and 4. We see the 3 of Paul Servant. He's going to jump up to the middle line and help the 8 of Dana Osborne. Meanwhile, we've got the 2, the 66, and the 4 on the outside. The 81, 87, and 44 on the inside, so it'll be 3 wide at the line. Can Bobby get this lap? And he was not able to hold that one off. An interesting note here. That time by, even though the 3 of Paul Servant got it, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. was 2 1,000ths of a second slower, and the 66 of Bobby Tinch was only 3 1,000ths of a second. So that right there is about the equivalent of 2 sheets of paper. And as they come through the tri-oval, this one will go to the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. As we're starting to see, the leaders are starting to catch that third pack. We can see a little bit of left rear damage there to the 54 of Chris Akers. Don't know how he got that little bit of a wedgie there on the spoiler there, but I did see it, so let's focus on him for a second here. As the leaders are going to overtake him here in the tri-oval. You can see he's got damage right in front of the wheel well all the way back to the spoiler there. Take a look at his right rear.
All right, I just went back and looked at it. Getting on the pit road, that first pit stop, the 99 at Tom LeBar got into the back of it.
Ah, okay, so it does appear that that brake lockup did have a little bit of consequences. We're taking a live look at it right now. You can see right in between the Mac Tools and the Wix Filters logo there in front of the rear wheel is where the damage starts, carries through the fender well back to the rear TV panel and then onto the rear deck of that truck. As he will be scored 2 laps down right now in 24th position. Right now, the lucky dog belonging to the 18 of Gary Champion. Meanwhile, out front, we see it's still going to be 3x3 as they're...
Should be a caution. Caution's out.
Going to see the end of the stage there. So that stage is going to go to the 3 of Paul Servant. So our top 3 here for the first stage is going to be the 3 of Paul Servant, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., and the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. And while these guys are going to be under caution here due to the end of stage 1, we are going to cut to our first commercial break here of the night, and we will return live with the action here at Talladega Superspeedway. All right, we're back live with the action here, right in perfect time too, as They've just caught the pace car here out of turn 3, so we should be able to get a good view here of everybody if they are coming down pit road. And it looks like a bad night is just getting even worse for the 00. He just came over race radio and said that he was out of fuel. As we are going to look from the pit stall camera here, you'll see the trucks coming from underneath the overlay here. As they make their way down, we can see the 3, the 81, the 8, the 44, the 4. And interesting enough, we're seeing tires going.
Just something to mention, real classy move. The 11 is pushing the 00 Dwayne Cooper down to pit road.
And we're going to have to focus on that one. So we can see there the 11 making his way to his pit stall. The 00 is going to make his way down as well. See if Dwayne can, well, this time I don't think, well, if he messes up his pit stop now and he's out of fuel, he's going to be screwed because he's going to have to tow. So hopefully he can hit that box dead on. As we see him lock it up early, he will successfully hit his box. As we see the right sides are up on the 00. This one will be a 4 tires and fuel here.
You know, Art, that's a horrible feeling when you run out of fuel, and you're coasting in your pit box, and you know you have that pressure of, if I screw up, I'm in trouble.
I'm guilty of it. I've done it before. Not proud of it, but I've done it. So you see several trucks here in front of the leaders here. They're opting to stay. Either they have to wait to come down for their pit, or they're going to stay out for the wave by on 1 to green here. As we see the 54 of Chris Akers, he is going to get a wave by, as well as a who was that? Apparently we're seeing some league wave admin wave bys being done here. The 16 getting one. The 29 got one as well, so that'll put Welzenbach, Akers, and Brown back on the lead lap here.
Yeah, that put the whole field back on the lead lap.
That's actually a good thing to see, though, because it is kind of disappointing as a driver to be. And you know, I think I know why he did that. So they actually have the opportunity to pit, and they're not going to stay stuck down the lap, because it is hard to get your lap back here, especially having to do it the old-fashioned way. And with these guys running clean and green so far the entire race, it's damn near impossible. You have to bank on a caution, and you have to be sitting in the lucky dog spot. So I think that was just a good call there by the race control here to get everybody back on the lead lap. As we can see, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to be scored as our race leader. Behind him, the 66 of Bobby Tinch. The 3 of Paul Servant right now sitting in 3rd spot. The 4 of Justin Levine in 4th. The 8 of Dana Osborne 5th. The 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer 6th. The 44 of David Anderson 7th. The 2 of Rick Seabrands 8th. The 89 of Matt Quick 9th. And rounding out the top 10 will be the 99 of Tom LaBarre. Now that is assuming they don't go back down pit road again.
We haven't mentioned the 66 much tonight, but he is looking mighty strong tonight.
Now, Bobby has been a power player there on that outside line. He's not been afraid to go out there, even odd man out, and just rely on the side draft. And that right there is one of the crucial things about running open setups that I love. You can, if you've got the right set, you can do exactly what Bobby's doing, and he can hang it out there all by himself and stay with the lead pack. It doesn't matter if there's 10 cars hooked up nose to tail. If you've got the right gear, you've got the speed, you've got the cornering, you can hang with the guys on the inside line all by your stony lonesome.
And I just checked in with Brett Bodine in the pace car.
And how's he doing?
Looking mighty pissed tonight. He's not a happy camper.
Well, I would assume it has something to do with he was not allowed to have any alcohol whatsoever. Because if the Mustang, we know there's beer stains and Copenhagen spit all over the inside of that car. I guarantee you they do not want a single thing damaged on that rough, because that is a very expensive ass pace car.
Yeah, I'm zoomed in on him, and his face, he's straight faced. He just does not look happy tonight. Dwayne's got to fix that.
Does he have the Tony Stewart at Watkins Glen face?
He has I think I just made a mistake.
We should see the lights on the rough pace car go out this time. It is so weird saying the rough pace car, but hey, what the hell? All right, so the field will double up. Lights are going out. We are going to be 1 to green here. Once again, a quick run through the top 10. Restarting in the lead will be the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. He'll have the 66 of Bobby Tinch to his outside, the 3 of Paul Servant in third, the 4 of Justin Levine fourth, Dana Osborne fifth, Raymond Rittenhauer sixth, David Anderson seventh, Rick Seabrands eighth, Tom LeBar ninth, and Matthew Quick is going to round out the top 10. All right, and another interesting thing to note, both the 66 and the 8 are both up 16 positions from their original start. Bobby starting 18th and Dana starting 23rd, so these guys have definitely put some time behind the wheel to get up where they are, seeing how, once again, we have been green flags since the start of this race tonight. So, since we are seeing the field making their way into turns 3 and 4, it's only fitting that we go for what we always do, a nice crank it up restart. We'll pull out our little RPM bar here, and if you can reach your speaker knobs, go ahead and turn the dial all the way up, rip the knob off, because pace car is getting ready to drop down, and we're gonna crank it up. You see the gear drop down in a second. That means they're getting ready for the restart. I'm gonna wait for Chad Knaus to yell in my ear here.
Green.
And, oh, he kept it simple that time. He just said green. So green flag is out. We're back underway here. Stage 2, just in its infancy here at Talladega Super Speedway with the Cyber Racing Association's Homes Now, Not Later Super Speedway Series. Tonight's Hope for Paws 230. All right, and as they make their way out of turn 4, we're going to resume back onto the normal Fox cameras here. These guys are well up to speed and then some, as you were watching there from the driver drop down and our nice little ticker that gives us information on their starting position, their last lap, and their fast lap. Right now we are watching the battle for 11th position. This is between the 16 of Chris Brown, the 2 of Rick Seabrands, and the 99 of Tom LaBar. A name that we haven't mentioned much tonight in front right there, the 96 of Jason Roadbush. Good to see him back here with Cyber. I know we've seen him in seasons past. Took a little break, but he is back here tonight, so it's good to see him back out on track. Go back up to the front a little bit here as we see the 66 and the 4 once again hooked up together here on the backstretch. We've got the 81, the 3, and the 8. Those are all 3 teammates there out of the Southern Thunder camp. The 4th member of Southern Thunder, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper, right now being scored. Where the hell is he? There he is in 16th position. We see the inside line having to check up a little bit there. That is probably one of the hardest things about play track racing, especially when you are the middleman there in a multi-car draft. You've got to watch when you're bumping somebody. The 3rd car is probably the worst car to be because you have to time the bumps just right if you're going to give them, because the truck in front of you or the car, depending on what you're racing, that 2nd car obviously is going to be bumping the lead car. But you have to make sure that you're not going to give the middle car there a shot when he's backing off, because he has to either breathe it a little bit, or you don't want to get him and knock him loose, especially in the corner here. And so far tonight, and I hope this does not jinx things, because I love seeing green flag racing, just like last week with Die Hard when we were at Richmond. We had an early 2 cautions and then 150 lap green flag stint all the way to the end. These guys have been playing very nicely tonight, and I would love nothing more than to see at least 2 of the 3 stages, if not the entire race, go clean and green. So you see now the 3 of Paul Servant is going to step to the outside. You see the 66 of Bobby Tinch glued to his back bumper, and they are both going to be able to clear the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. That's going to leave the 4 of Justin Levine out there, but he does have help on the outside line. So as they come out of turn 4, the 3 of Paul Servant will be the race leader, followed by the 66 of Bobby Tinch and the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. as the outside line has got to get back together, reform back up. As we see now, the 81 is going to dip out, and we're going to see some more leapfrog action going on here. The 81 is going to try and get around the 66 and the 3 and leapfrog his way back to the front. A little bit of contact there between the 81 and the 66. Good job by the 81. We saw that wiggle that he had there. Didn't seem to slow him down one bit, as now he's getting the bumper from the 4 of Justin Levine as they go into turn 3 here. So as they come to the line, it's going to be a drag race here between teammates. Who's going to get it, the 81 or the 3? That one time by, it's going to be the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. That is his 12th lap led of the night. Paul has 18 laps in the books. Justin Levine there in the 4 with 2. Starting to see that there's a lot of guys that have led some laps here. So we're going to pull up a quick summary here. So far we've got 41 laps completed. We've had 16 lead changes, and the only caution showing up, that is the end of stage 1. So we have been green flag since the drop at the initial start of the race here at Talladega, and hopefully they keep it that way. Right now our top 5 being the 81, the 3, the 4, the 66, and the 8. As that time by, once again, it'll be the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. leading his 13th lap of the night here. As now we see the 8 of Dana Osborne behind the 4 of Justin Levine. if we're going to see the Southern Thunder Frogger attempt here, this is going to be it, as we see the 8 giving the shot to the 4 down the backstretch. He's got the 16 of Chris Brown behind him, as well as a couple other trucks. See the 89 there of Matthew Quick, as well as the 2 of Rick Seabrands. Also in the mix there, the 99 of Tom LeVar and the 20 of Hondo Co. And as they come to the stripe, once again, just barely this time, it'll be the 81 once again. So 47 laps to go. Now with 47 laps to go, and knowing that the stage is going to end at lap 60, I think we're inside the window now to see green flag pit stops happening here. So I'm going to say here within the next 2 to 3 laps, we start seeing some drivers coming down for their scheduled green flag service. Right now, we see the 16 there of Chris Brown. He's currently in 6th position. Now, what we saw towards the end of the first stage, where there's 3 packs broken up, that was from green flag pitting. Right now, we have 2 different packs. We've got this large one conflagration of people here, and then we're going to have a smaller second pack. We can see a little bit of 3 wide there out of turn 4. That is the 00 of Dwayne Cooper and the 26 of Daniel Holloway. And now we see the 81. He has cleared his teammate. He's going to try and bring the 4 with him now. So far, he is still committed to that outside line, because you only got to look back 2 trucks and you can see the 8 of Dana Osborne there. I think they're going to try and make a 1-2-3 move around the 3 of Paul Servant.
Actually, Art, you know what that was? That was the 3 was getting hot. The 81 moved up to get the 3 some air.
Teamwork at its finest. We take a look here at the 96 Jason Roadbush, currently being scored in the 9th position right now, so great job out of him. Inside the top 10 right now, as we are getting closer and closer to the end of stage 2 here. Directly behind the 96 to 99 of Tom LeVar. And we see now the 4 of Justin Levine. He's going to be the odd man out there on the 3rd lane on the backstretch here. He'll easily be able to drop in behind the 16 of Chris Brown, as he will do so now. See once again the 00 looking now to the outside of the 20 of Hondo Co. and the 89 of Matthew Quick. He's going to stay out there. I thought for a second he was going to dip back in. Now he will do so. We see the run down the backstretch. The 4 is giving to the 16. They're able to get right up to the, almost to the back bumper of the 8 of Dana Osborne. Right now, as always, what we see, the common trend here with the open sets, the outside line being dominant here. Mark Jorgensen Jr. will lead it from the outside, as him and the 8 will both drop down in front of their teammate, the 3 of Paul Servant. So that'll open it up for the 16 of Chris Brown, the 4 of Justin Levine, the 20 of Hondo Co., and the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. We'll also have the 26 of Daniel Holloway and the 2 of Rick Seabrands in tow, if they can get up to the back bumper there. So you see the 20 is going to drop to the inside. That will put Co in 7th spot. We see a few drivers peeling off here for green flag pit stops. So we saw the 44 David Anderson being one of them. If you take a look at the 00 of Dwayne Cooper being scored right now in the 7th spot. Yeah, I never get tired of seeing that paint scheme, that especially the back. So we're going to take a look out front, as rumor is we're going to see most of the front pack coming down pit road this time. And we are going to see mass exodus once again down here on pit road as we see the 81. Ooh, he might have got a speeding penalty on that one. He was on the binders pretty hard to get it in there.
I'm definitely going out saying he got a penalty. When I look at the commitment line, he was doing 76 miles an hour.
And I think to make matters worse, it almost looked like he might have slid to his box, but he did not. Be interesting to see though if he has to sit for the extra 15. And we see once again the 00 sideways in his pit box, and we can confirm the 81 did get a speeding penalty there, as he is under a 15-second hold as you see him now down and away. Right now, current race lead being given to the 16 of Chris Brown as you see him making his way down on the pit road right now. Right now, the 16 is still being scored as our race leader as he's going to make his way off of pit road. You see the 18 of Gary Champion. He is being scored as our 2nd place as our 3rd group of guys now coming down. As this will now bring things back around. The 8 of Dana Osborne. We see Chris Brown right there is just now getting up to speed. Right there, he just lost the lead. And since he's still getting up to speed, he is not going to be able to leech onto the draft there of the main lead pack here. So he's going to have to hope that by the time the next group of trucks get to him, that he's got enough speed to stay there.
Hey, he'll be all right as long as he doesn't go a lap down with eight more to go.
Exactly. So hopefully, and I'm gonna knock on wood here, they can keep it clean and green all the way through the end of stage 2. I'm not gonna really hold a ton of hope for the 3rd and final stage because that's when everything is on the line, the race win. So I wouldn't count out some very aggressive moves being made, but hopefully this is a little bit more of a trend of what we're going to see, a little bit more cleaner racing. Is right now we're seeing it 3 wide for a second there on the back stretches. Now the 4 Justin Levine is going to drop all the way from the 3rd group down to the bottom line. As you see the 66 of Bobby Tinch going back up to the middle groove along with the 96 of Jason Roadbush. Now the 2 of Rick Seabrands, he's going to step out in front of the 66. So it's going to be 4 on 2 here. The 8 and the 3 on the inside, the 2, the 66, the 4, and the 96 on the outside. And at the line, it will be the 2 of Rick Seabrands. That'll be his 3rd lap led of the night. The 8 of Dana Osborne with 5, the 66 of Bobby Tinch with 1, the Paul Servant with 19, and the 4 with 2. Be 36 laps to go when they cross the line.
You know, I really don't want to be the guy to jinx it, but this is the cleanest I've ever seen these guys race.
I cannot say anything that would challenge that. This has been a great race so far, and hopefully, like you said, Mike, that we're not jinxing anything here, but these guys are definitely showing a lot of restraint, a lot of patience, and unlike what we normally see where it's just a typical case of a bump gone bad, tonight has been the rare exception, and these guys have done just a phenomenal job of keeping it not only very fast, but clean, green since the start of the race, and hopefully we can see this all the way to the end. But like I said, last lap is pretty much every man for himself, even though we do know that when it comes to Southern Thunder that they don't really particularly care who wins as long as one of the teammates does. So I know the 81, he likes being out front. The 3 obviously is always a player as well as the 8. And we cannot count out the 4 or the 66, as we've seen the 66 and the 4 both very dominant there on the outside line all night long, as we see the 2 of Rick Seabrand's leading the inside line here. It'll be interesting to see what Bobby and Justin can do there on the outside. So you see the side draft going on there through 3 and 4. So no contest this time. It'll be the 2 of Rick Seabrand's leading his 5th lap of the night. Looking at the scoreboard, we only have 3 trucks sitting 1 lap down right now. That being the 1 of Artie Peterson Jr., the 54 of Chris Akers, and the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach. We're going to move back here to 13th on back. This is the biggest pack, and they are 3 wide down the backstretch here. Inside line being led by the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. He's got his teammate, the 00, Dwayne Cooper, in the middle groove. Now we're going to see the 18 of Gary Champion go down to the inside in front of the 81, as they will stay 3 wide through 3 and 4 here. Outside being led by the 58 of Jim Peterson there. As now we are 3 wide up here for the race lead. We got the 3 of Paul Servant and the 66 of Bobby Tinch, who just dropped down into the middle groove for Justin Levine. Odd man out there on the high groove. He's going to drop back down into the bottom line, and thought for a minute he was going to do the old Talladega toss up there and go from the bottom up to the middle groove, and that kind of sounded like a sex position. I don't know. It might be an Alabama thing. That, or it might just be because we have the rough for a pace car instead of the Mustang. So now we see right there the crossover happening. The 4 of Justin Levine and the 66 of Bobby Tinch. As now it'll be Bobby Tinch and Rick Seabrand's on the inside. And now, once again, we're going to see the shuffle happen here, as the 8 and the 3 are going to clear the 2, and now the 66 is going to step up with the 4. Now Bobby's going to drop back down, and we're going to see the 2 of Rick Seabrand's, as he was looking to go to the outside. He's going to stay down on the bottom, so right now Justin is going to have to recycle to the back of the front 5 here. We're going to go back to this big pack here being led by the 81 of Mark Jorgensen.
Keep it up, caution is out.
That is going to be the end of the stage here. So your stage winner will be the 8 of Dana Osborne, followed by the 3 of Paul Servant and the 2 of Rick Seabrand. So that's 2 clean and green stages in the books, Mike. Are we looking at possibly the best race we've ever seen, or are we just setting ourselves up for disappointment?
There's 2 options that are going to happen. The last segment's going to be great, or the last segment's going to be a disaster. And I would probably go with there's going to be some caution here, because now these guys are going to be grouped back up. They know they got to put themselves in position for the end of the race. And you're going to start seeing more 3 wide, more guys bumping in the corners, bumping harder than they should. So this is going to be crazy here.
Once again, the stage win going to the 8 of Dana Osborne as they are pretty much at a stop here, waiting. Actually, I think the 8 was trying to make his way on the pit road there, and he's going to have to back up on track here. But either way, I believe they were waiting for the pace car. Or they were waiting for another. They've got to be waiting for the pace car.
They are waiting for the pace car.
There it is. Brett is so pissed off. He's driving slower than usual. So there we go. Lead pack all coming down, or lead lap pack coming down pit road right now. So we're going to take this opportunity while we are under caution for the end of stage 2. Once again, these guys have done an amazing job staying green flag since the start of the race. We are going to cut to another sponsored commercial break here and return, hopefully with the third and final stage of the race going clean all the way to the end. All right, we are back live with the action here. Once again, if you're just tuning in now, we are live here with the Cyber Racing Association's Homes Now Not Later Super Speedway Series, where tonight we are doing the Hope for Paws 230. We are under caution here, not due to any incident on track. It was the end of stage 2, so as these guys are under pacing here, once we get the 1 to green, they'll double back up for the restart here for the third and final stage. And we will hopefully not have to use the 1 green-white checker attempt. As we do a quick look through here at the top 10, the 4 Justin Levine is out front, followed by the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 3 of Paul Servant, the 8 of Dana Osborne, the 2 of Rick Seabrands, the 18 of Gary Champion, the 26 of Daniel Holloway, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper, the 11 of Jason Kinzer, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. We get a good look there at the 8 of Dana Osborne. Usually alternates back and forth between the Budweiser paint scheme and the AC/DC back at black paint scheme that he is running here tonight. We get a good look at the back there of the 3 Paws Servant. He's got the Hope for Paws sticker there on the back, as well as the deck lid and on the nose of that truck. Hopefully this time by we see the lights on the iRacing rough pace car go out, and we will double the field back up here and get them ready to go for the final stage here at Talladega. And the lights not out on the pace car, so we will go at least 2 more laps around here under caution. So we'll go ahead and we'll go from a little bit of an alternate bit of a view here. Camera that we rarely go to as well, as we can see from the iRacing blimp up here. I know Mike spent plenty of time behind the controls.
I am the blimp master.
Well, you kind of had to clear out all the leftover roaches and the spilled bong water when Alan used to man the blimp, but you did a great job. It smells awesome in there, and I love that little friggin' bobblehead, Voss bobblehead from Far Cry 5 that you threw up there to make it smell good.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how much crap Alan left up here for me.
Did he leave any of his snorts or anything up there too? Any of his sound effects? Hopefully that was just a soundboard.
I mean, I could start snorting if it'll make you happy.
No, please don't.
And making weird phlegmy sounds.
Please don't. I will run out on track right now and let Brett Bodine run me over with the pace car. If you start making those noises, I'll make Seth come back in for the next race.
Sounds good.
Wait. No. That's just double bad on my part.
That punishes you, not me.
Yeah, no shit. I didn't think that one through. Alright, so hopefully we see the lights go out on the pace car this time, as we're going to get in chopper 4. The question can be asked, what do you do when you're under pacing at Talladega, a 2.66 mile track? There's nothing really to talk about. You play with the cameras, that's what you do. Will we see the lights go out? Yes, the lights are out on the pace car, so now we will resume with the crank it up cam, and the thing that we can notice the most is I remember at the beginning of the race, the nose of that Ford machine was solid white, and now it looks like he ran through some dirty snow with it. So you tell just how much rubber is being thrown up by these trucks, as you can see on the various paint schemes through the field, the amount of accumulated rubber on the noses of these trucks. And I just caught a glimpse there of Brett Bodine. He is looking very, very, very angry. You'd figure he would not be in such a bad mood, seeing how he's in like an actual race car instead of a crowd killer, and he's not really having to do a lot of laps around here tonight. That should put him in a happy mood. I think he's just pissed because he doesn't have any beer.
Yeah, that's the problem. You take away his beer and he's just miserable.
Well, can't please everybody, and I think that might be the reason why we've seen such great racing, is because Brett Bodine's not drunk. Or maybe everybody's just scared of the rough, because we all know that the rough would stomp these trucks into the ground around this track.
The real question is, does he drive better while he's drunk, or does he drive better when he's sober?
Yes. I think what the reasoning is both in the state of Florida and the state of Alabama, they're having to retrofit the Mustang with the in-car breathalyzer thing, where the ignition will not fire over unless you have no alcohol in your system. Therefore, he's in a different base car.
It is very possible.
Yeah, well, the Ford Justin Levine is going to lead us here into the restart here, which will start the third and final stage. Brett Badine's going to get his angry ass off the track, and let's see what kind of thing Chad's going to throw at me this time when they take the green. Better be more than just green.
Green flag.
No, this time he gave me a green flag, but we are back underway, starting stage 3 here at Talladega Super Speedway with the Cyber Racing Association Homes Now Not Later Super Speedway Series in the hope for Paws 230. Okay, the way these guys are racing, I had to pull off of the crank it up cam a little bit early because it's getting really dicey up here in the front already. Take a look back here at 11th. That is the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. I think Mark knows what might potentially be coming and might be playing it a little safe right now, as there's still 25 laps to go, be 24 at the line.
Did you just say junior and the word safe in the same sentence? Because it's not right.
Well, seeing how everything we've said so far tonight has kept these guys from wrecking, I figured I might as well go ahead and do the ultimate. No, and say junior and safe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because junior is just straight up checkers and records.
That's the thing that we love about him, though. He's either gonna bring it home in victory lane, or he's gonna ride it home on the hook, as we've seen him do both. Sometimes more so on the hook, but we've also seen his fair share of TV. Well, hell, I think he's gotten a ton of TV time.
He might still be laughing from his death at Monza.
He very well might be, as it was quite comedic. He did get the gold star for how many flips? I think Tony Hawk got a little jealous at the amount of barrel rolls that he did last week. We take a look here at the 1 of Artie Peterson Jr., right now being scored in the 14th spot. One thing I've noticed tonight is we've seen several trucks in the field occasionally blink. Now, that usually is an indication of internet or connection to the server, but I've noticed the same thing as well, that I don't really blink, but ever since the new build came out, as we see the 80 get forced down below the apron there, see the one he blinked again right there. I have noticed that since the new build, I have been getting random stutters again, which had that problem in the past. It was fixed, and now all of a sudden something with the new build is conflicting. So I'm going to have to take a look on the hardware end and see what would be causing any stuttering. As we see, once again, the one blinking a little bit there. That's not going to help in the draft there, because you've got to know exactly where those vehicles are at all times. And as we look at the front here, the 4 of Justin Levine still leading the inside line, the 3 of Paul Severn on the outside with the 60, 68, and the 00. We see a nice move there by the 81, barely clearing the 96 there on the inside. Now he's going to go back to the outside, try and make his way around the 26 of Daniel Holloway. So we see the 26 and the 96 both get a little bit down there on the apron. Now, the interesting thing about Talladega is that yellow line is still part of the track. Whereas Daytona, you hit that apron, you might as well kiss your ass goodbye, because that's death. And it looks like we've got a wreck going on in the back, but got my fingers crossed that the green flag stays out. And that will be the 54 of Chris Akers. He was able to keep it down off the racing surface, so we will remain green here as we are still watching this intense battle for the lead here. That one was involving the 54 of Chris Akers and the 44 of Dave Anderson. See a little bit of shuffling going on there as you see the 99 of Tom LeBar. He's going to drop to the inside behind the 89 of Matthew Quick. Now we see the 00 Dwayne Cooper with the run on the outside. Several trucks tonight are blanking. And I know these guys, if they see a blinking truck, they don't care. They're going to want to get around that. They're not going to waste any time in doing it either.
Yeah, it's really too risky to be behind a blinker or in front of a blinker because you never know if they're going to end up in your car. And then when it stops blinking, they're going to turn you or vice versa. And it's just a whole big disaster.
Blinking is bad enough, but when you start warping, that is the real danger. And that's the thing that really pisses me off the worst about official racing. If you know you've got a shitty internet connection and you're obviously warping off the track, and you know you're doing it because you've got your relative up, or F3, which is one of the tools that we can use to see how far the distance is between the car in front and car behind. When you warp and you blink out like that, that relative disappears and you're the only car there. You see nobody, you don't see any other cars on the track. You only see yourself. And a lot of people just don't give a shit. They just keep racing and then they'll warp into somebody and then we end up with a gigantic netcode initiated wreck that takes out a lot of good drivers. Luckily, we have not seen any warping tonight, just a little bit of blinking, as now we're starting to see these guys getting a little bit shaky there off the corners as the laps are dwindling down. There'll be 16 laps to go when they cross the line. You see the 00, he's going to go out to that outside line and then back down. So he had a little bit of a run, he had to kill some speed off, as now he's going to drop down to the inside behind the 96 of Jason Roadbush. Oh, and now we've got our first caution
might be oil
of
on
the
the
night.
outside at the start-finish line.
That is going to be a bump gone bad between the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. and his teammate, the 8 of Dana Osborne. So now we're officially working our first caution of the race. All right, so we're going to back this up here and we're going to take a look and see what happened with the 81 and the 8 here, as we're going to watch from the 81's point of view. He is on the outside line there. Third truck in. You can see the bump there. As you can see, Bobby had checked up for, or Dana checked up for the 66 because of the shot he gave him. And not only did that involve the 8, that also involved the 3 of Paul Servin as well. So, teammate on teammate violence there. We're backing it up here. We're going to go on board with the 8 first and then also the 00. here we are riding on board. Let's back that one up just a little bit further, and right here will be where we want to see it. So here, watch. You'll see Dana bump Bobby, and he has to back off because it gets Bobby a little bit loose. But he's got a mirror full of mark behind him, and we're about to see the 8 turn down into the 3 from the 81. So you see the 00. The next person we're going to go to here on this for the replay. I'm going to watch Dwayne drive through this like Talladega Nights or some... Oh, we see a little bit of damage there pop up on the 00 before the incident happened there with the 89. So get ready for Days of Thunder shit here. As we're going to watch Dwayne go through this mess that unfolds right in front of him. Right there. You see trucks everywhere. Wow. Great piece of driving there by the 00, Dwayne Goober.
Yeah, Dwayne definitely gets the wreck avoidance of the night. That was pretty damn impressive.
I don't know yet. It ain't over yet. We've seen our first caution, and we know here in the late stages of the races, cautions breed cautions. Hopefully that's not the case. We got the one and done, but I don't know. You gotta wonder what's running through the Southern Thunder channel right now, as that involved 3 of the 4 Southern Thunder drivers.
You know that they're gonna get right back up there no matter
of course.
where they restart. Those guys are just their setups are great. And they're just maniacs.
Insanity. I'm gonna use it now. Hopefully, it's gonna be an ill attempt at trying to keep the cautions at bay. But while we are working our first caution of the race here, we are gonna go ahead and cut to hopefully our last commercial break, and we can finish this one out clean and green. Alright, as we return with the action here, we are working our first actual caution of the race. As we take a look at the 3 of Paul Servant, after being involved in that last caution, he is currently being scored in 17th, the 8 of Dana Osborne in 11th, and the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. in 5th. Right now, everybody in the 25 truck field still being shown on the lead lap, so that's always a good sign. We do see there are a couple little torn up trucks there towards the back of the pack there. As we look out front, our current race leader is the 89 of Matt Quick. Let's ride on board with him. You can see Matt is in conservation mode here. He's got the clutch rolling here. I can't hype this enough. I love the fact that iRacing finally put this animation back in on the replay mode. That way that us as broadcasters can use this as a tool just to show the way that the guys conserve fuel, the RPMs they're turning, especially when we're in Gen 6 cars, because that shows you everything. It shows your water temp, your oil temp, your RPM, everything you want to see. But you can see right here, Matt's just letting it pop into gear and then right back into the clutch again to save as much fuel as he can. We look behind, we can see the rest of the field in tow. Not to be confused with camel toe. And the lights on the pace car are out, so this is going to be a quickie caution here, so that's a good thing to see. So restarting, or going to be leading us to the restart here, with the race lead will be the 89 of Matt Quick, followed by Bobby Tinch, Rick Sebrands, PJ O'Leary, Mark Jorgensen Jr., Jason Kinzer, Dwayne Cooper, Raymond Rittenhauer, Jim Peterson, and Tom LaBarre wrapping up the top 10. We're going to go ahead and do a full field, though. In 11th, Artie Peterson Jr., then Dana Osborne, Gregory Thompson, Jason Roadbush, Chris Brown, Daniel Jackson, Pondo Co., Paul Servant, David Anderson, Justin Levine, Matthew Welsenbach, Gary Champion, Daniel Holloway, and Chris Akers. And rounding out the field is going to be the 97 of Jeremy Funk. As we only have one driver who did not start tonight. You see the pace car making its way down the backstretch here. As always, we are going to get the RPM bar ready. And it is going to be that critical time of the night to once again stand up if you have to reach to get to your speaker knob. Turn it all the way up, rip the knob off, because we're going to go live with the crank it up cams here as soon as the pace car makes its way out of turn 4. As you see the drivers dropping it down into second gear, pace car is going to make its way down onto pit road, and the 89 of Matthew Quick is going to lead us into the restart zone.
Green flag.
And the green flag is back out. We're back underway here. 12 laps to go. Make that 11 now. As we pull off the crank it up cams, there's a lot of action going on here as we see the 3 of Paul Servant, the 4 of Justin Levine. A lot of fast guys are going to have to make their way from the back up to the front pretty quick here. The laps are really starting to dwindle down now. So this is going to be the time for the make it or break it move, and this is where it's going to be probably the most dangerous of the entire race here. See the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to be able to clear the 89 of Matthew Quick. Now he's going to go back up and block the 2 of Rick Seabrands, which that's going to stall out the inside line. And now he's going to drop back down onto the low line. You got to be careful doing that here because some of the guys might not like that and they might just give you the bumper. Which, in all fairness, it's 100% game. If you see that line's charging like that, and you make the move to go up there and block, as we saw before, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen somebody get turned for going up to try and stall out a line. So you can see the speed that the 2, the 66, and the 8 are carrying off of the corner here. We also see the 88 of Gregory Thompson. He's going to go 3 wide, and he's going to bring the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer with him. Behind that, also the 58 of Jim Peterson. He was going to go with him. Now they're going to go back to double file here. That time at the line, the lap going to the 2 of Rick Seabrands. 7 laps to go. As we're going to see another march for 3 wide. I'll see a little bit of contact there on the wall. And outside is the 88, the 87, and the 58. So you can see the 4 of Justin Levine making a huge run here up the middle. As he is going to tuck in behind the 8 of Dana Osborne. Now we see the 2 of Rick Seabrands. He's going to pull up in front of the 66 of Bobby Tinch and see if he can't lead another lap here. As we are still 3 wide. With the 88, the 87. You can see right there. They got to be careful. You see the middle groove, a little bit of movement there in the corners, a little bit more, and that could be deadly. If we look back a little bit further, we see the 18 of Gary Champion. He's going to get in behind the 4 of Justin Levine. See the, contact between, can they keep it down at the track? 26 sideways, nope. We are going to be under caution here as we saw that one unfold there. And unfortunately, the 3 of Paul Servant once again found himself on the end of the stick. Had nowhere to go. Track got clogged on that one. So we're going to go and see from his point of view what unfolded in front of him. So let's back it up just a little bit. We're going to go back a little bit further here as we're riding along with the 3. Now, the initial contact is between the 18 and the 87. You can see right in front there in the middle lane, that is the 4 of Justin Levine. We've got the 99 of Tom LaBar on the inside and the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer on the outside. There you can see the 18 of Gary Champion as he makes his run up in there along with the 26 of Daniel Holloway. See the trucks doing a little bit of dancing there out the corners, but the wreck is going to happen down here in turn 3. There's the contact. You see nowhere to go for the 3 of Paul Servants. He gets, he is tagged hard in the back. He's able to keep it under control, but not without getting a ton of damage on that 3 machine. We back it up here. We're going to go on board with, let's see, we're looking at the 80 at PJ O'Leary watching this all unfold from a little bit further back. You can see it's literally just the track is completely clogged here. We're also going to do another one here with the 44 of Dave Anderson. So here we are riding on board with the 44. There's the contact. We see the wreck initiate. Oh, that's who got into the back of 3. Oh, wow. As we see the 58 of Jim Peterson doing some Gymkhana shit through the grass there as he gets around the 44 Dave Anderson. But that's where the speed boost that the 3 of Paul Sherman got came from, the 44. So, hopefully, we're done seeing the wrecking. As with that one right there, I'm going to classify that one as the big one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was bound to happen. Those guys were beating the shit out of each other for at least 3 laps. And I just got word from race control, it will be a green-white checker.
So we will use those 3 extra laps that are allocated at the end of the race for the attempt of one green-white checker. Now, once they get going again, it doesn't matter what flag comes out next, that will end the race. So these guys have one attempt to make this a clean and green finish. If they cannot do so, whoever is leading at the time the caution comes out will be the race winner. I still got to give these guys a hell of a lot of credit. They won the majority of the race, green flag, a lot of great racing going on, a lot of respect, a lot of giving, not a lot of taking. But as always, with that big one there, it's plate track. When somebody gets turned up the track and people get on the binders, it does not take long for that track to become completely log jammed with trucks. As we saw, some had to go all the way down to the grass down there in turn 3 to get around it.
Yeah, when you're going 200 miles an hour, it's pretty damn hard to stop that truck.
Hell, it's hard enough to stop the truck as is when you're just getting spun. Seems like when you hit the brakes, you go faster than hitting the gas. And then have a little speed boost added to it when you're trying to save it. That just makes it even worse.
Well, like you said, it's still impressive. They went 75 laps till the first actual caution came out. And that's really good, especially the plate track. That's super impressive. And they were racing hard. There was no, I'm just going to ride around in a single file the whole field, but that's really great to see. I mean, that just shows the skill of these drivers.
It would be different if they were in like Pro Mazdas, which have like maybe about as much horsepower as my lawnmower, and you're just doing the leapfrog thing. And to run 75 laps green, that's a no-brainer. But with the open set Camping World trucks, that really says a lot about the particular skill sets that these drivers have. And we've seen the drivers, like right there, the 4 of Justin Levine. He is one of the guys, along with the 66 of Bobby Tinch, who have been absolutely able to just hammer down on the outer, well, middle groove, seeing how this is, and frequently is used as almost what I call the 8-lane, or was known as the 8 lanes of hell in Atlanta. You've seen a lot of races where these guys have gone 4 and 5 wide through the corners, lap traffic involved, and we've seen the big ones happen. But tonight, like you said, there was a lot of guys just showing people room. There was 90 laps, may not sound like it's a lot here, but to go under caution here, you're looking at almost a 2-minute lap time, depending on if pit stops are taken, if you have to wait for a car to pass you or not. The more time you spend pacing on a super speedway, the more and more you kind of despise plate track racing. And that's why I've stopped running the official plates, because it's nothing but a caution fest. I think the pace car gets the award for leading the most laps every single race instead of any particular driver, but these guys are just doing a hell of a job tonight. It's a great show of effort by all the drivers, and hopefully we can get this green-white checker knocked out without seeing another wreck happening here. So we've got the 2 of Rick Seabrands who's going to lead us back here as the lights on the pace car are out. So run through the top 10. With the lead, we have the 2 of Rick Seabrands, followed by the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. And we have Bobby Tinge, Dana Osborne, Matt Quick, Justin Levine, Dwayne Cooper, Gregory Thompson, Tom LaBarre, and Gary Champion's going to round out the top 10. And it's going to be a battle of 2 teams right here. So we got Sim Nation on the inside line with Seabrands and Tinch, and then we got Southern Thunder with Jorgensen Jr. and Osborne there on the outside line. So this is definitely going to be a very interesting restart to watch. And if there's any time to be watching this race, now is the time, because this is when it's really going to get interesting. So we got 2 teams going after it right here, right now. Now, tomorrow night, when we go live with the Die Hard Racing League, we're going to be taking to Talladega here in the Gen 6 Monster Energy Cup cars. That's going to be one hell of a race. Not only that, but our lower feeder series, the Xfinity series, is also going to be there. And are you going to be jumping out on track with me, Mike?
I am, and I think we're going to win it.
I hope we do. We usually have the good strategy, or we end up dying. But we will be live tomorrow night on the iRacing portal at 7:15 p.m. Central Time with the Die Hard Racing League's JMR Outdoors American Hero Hunt Cup Series. So if you guys like what you've been seeing tonight, make sure you tune in tomorrow night for more super speedway action as the 2 of Rick Seabrands get set to take us here into the green-white checker.
Green.
As the green flag comes out, we're going to stay off of the Crank It Up cams. We're going to stay in the regular ones to cover as much of the action as we can here. As we see the 81 wasting no time, he has dropped down and he has cleared the 2 of Rick Seabrands. That's going to leave it out there for the 8 of Dana Osborne, being pushed by the 4 of Justin Levine. As they come down the backstretch to the outside line with the momentum, they've got the 58 and the 00. Excuse me, the 88. It's kind of hard because Jim and Gregory's paint schemes are just a slight different color blue from each other. But now we see the 88 shuffled out. Oh, we got the 2 of Rick Seabrands. He got coming off of turn 4. So now that's going to set it up for the 81 and the 8, but we can't count out the 89 of Matthew Quick, the 4 of Justin Levine, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. As now we see the 8, oh my God, this is crazy here. The 4 of Justin Levine is going to drop down to the inside. Now we've got 3 of the 5 positions occupied by Southern Thunders. We see the run off the backstretch to the 00 Dwayne Cooper pushing the dog shit out of the 8. See if they can both clear. I don't think they're going to be able to do so. They got a wreck behind them. So this is going to end it here. Dana Osborne will be scored as the race winner. Justin Levine will be our 2nd place finisher. And it appears that the 3 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. will hold on to 3rd. I'm not sure about that. We'll find out. We'll get clarification from race control, but I think this is a race back to the line as we see a hell of a lot of contact there. If that is the case, then it's still Dana Osborne with the win, followed by the 4 Justin Levine and the 00 Dwayne Cooper. So we'll have to get clarification from the tower to see who actually. We know Dana is in the clear. We know, I think Justin's in the clear, but we want to make sure that we've got everything set before we go ahead and do it. So the top 3 will in fact be the 8 of Dana Osborne, the 4 of Justin Levine, and the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. So that was definitely I'm gonna use insanity. As we saw that as they were racing back to the line there was a shit ton of door slamming going on there. But all in all, I think for a 90 lap race, these guys did one hell of a job. I'm proud of every one of these guys out here. They showed an amazing patience the first 2 stages. Third stage, we knew it was going to get a little bit hectic here, but that's the way plate track racing goes. And when you're racing for the win, you're going to see stuff like this. But nonetheless, very impressive showing by these guys. You see everybody having to wait once again for pissed off Brett Badon here that he's in the rough when he's driving a car that is more than he'll ever make in his lifetime. And we've got all 3 of our top 3 in the holding tank waiting for interviews here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in our 3rd place finisher, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. All right, Dwayne.
Racing back and whoops. Hey, what's up, buddy?
I love doing that to you. That was one hell of a finish. You guys went 75 laps, all green flag, and then we saw the first wreck, and then we saw the green white checker. And then we see you and Justin beating the shit out of each other on the last lap.
Yeah, I was just talking to Justin about that. I mean, excuse me. I couldn't give him any. I was trying to get around Dana. Dana's high enough in points. He can make the chase. I really need a win to lock it in. So I was trying to beat my teammate to the line, and Justin was interfering with that. So we was kind of door slamming. I think I got his paint on my side.
The real question I want to ask is, what the hell is up with the pit stops tonight?
With the what?
The pit stops.
Dude, I don't know what's up with my graphics. All my pit is off. I have nothing in the pit. So when I go in the pit, I don't even see my stall at all.
I think iRacing has several issues. I noticed I picked up a stuttering issue in the running any races now, which was fixed a long time ago. Apparently iRacing still has its usual stupid bugs, but we kind of wondered because we saw you sideways in the box once, and then we saw you had to do like a 20-point turn just to get the precise angle that iRacing wanted. Now that we have the animated pit crews and all that.
Yeah, the first pit stall, I was too far forward, so I backed up, and then I was too far right, and then the second one I was too far left, and at that point I told my crew, you know, just put fucking gas in like I asked for and stop telling me where to park.
Well, it didn't seem that the pit stops held you back. You brought it home third and one hell of a finish. You got to give it to the guys tonight. You guys did one hell of a job. It's not easy to go 75 laps green flag at Talladega, period, let alone with the open trucks. We did have the one big wreck that log jammed the track. We saw Jim Peterson mowing the lawn sideways. I think he made Ken Block a little bit jealous with the skills he pulled off there to avoid the wreck. But for only having what we did, I think this is just, I think the prime example and a great piece of advertisement to show how much skill y'all have here at Play Tracks.
Yeah, it's you know, we raced tonight to raise awareness to adopt pets instead of buying, you know, and Matt, I don't know what's up with his internet. He's been having a lot of trouble with it tonight. But, you know, that was a whole go, and Paul built us a hell of a setup. We've been running all week long at Talladega, and this setup has been kicking butt. So I knew we had a good one coming in here tonight, and I was just trying to finish strong. I mean, I'll take it. We got 3 of the top 4 spots.
Max points tonight for Southern Thunder, which next week we go to Daytona with, I believe, the K&Ns, which always is a fun time. So with the 3rd place finish, who do you want to thank out there besides yourself for putting this league on?
Well, you got to thank Jim Peterson and Holmes Now, Not Later. I mean, they are our primary sponsor, and without them, you know, we can't do a lot in the league that we do. My teammates, they've made me a lot better this year. I don't know if you've noticed, but my qualifying has been a heck of a lot better than I've ever done in any season. So I got to thank Dana and Paul and Mark for helping me out there. And for the guys in the league, I mean, to come in here and be this patient for 75 laps at Talladega, you know, a wide track. You know, the drivers put on a heck of a show. And I got to thank Mike, you know, because he has a squeaky-ass mouth voice, and by him not talking, it gets more viewership.
Hey, Dwayne, if you want any help with your pit stops, let me know.
Oh, shots fired. Anything's better than what we had.
There's a reason why I'm up here in the booth, not on the track.
Yeah, I know. Joe Morgani taught you how to drive, so
Oh God, don't bring Stromboli into this. The funny thing is we actually made a reference to Alan earlier on when we were up in the blimp, because Mike had to do extensive cleaning from all the spilled bong water and the phlegm and the shit that Alan had spit all over the windows. So Mike did a hell of a job cleaning the booth, and great night tonight. Once again, congratulations on the third, and we'll cut you loose for the night, and we'll see you next week at Daytona.
Hey, Art, did you notice that Bodine was so drunk he was driving a Porsche?
You know, we were talking about that the entire race. He was so pissed off that he was not in his Mustang. He had nowhere to put his beer because the trunk is in the front of the car. He had no back seat to put the cooler in. He was just pissed. And the fact that you guys went 75 laps green, he had no time to drink.
Yeah, he's a dumbass.
Oh, you're going to have to deal with him next week, though. All right, that was our third place finisher and the league owner, Dwayne Cooper. Now, as we see Justin doing a little bit of celebrating there on the start finish line, we're going to bring, actually, hold on, I can see in TeamSpeak he's got his mic muted right now, so we're going to hold off here for a second. There we go. Now we're going to bring in our second place finisher, the 4 of Justin Levine. All right, Justin, you brought it home second and one hell of a finish. You and Dwayne slamming doors there to the line.
He looked like Bubba and Denny.
It was freaking awesome. You guys went 75 of the 90 scheduled laps, green flag. That was one hell of a race.
Yeah, it was definitely hard fought. Way to go, Dana. That was awesome.
Now, we noticed that there was only a certain few trucks that were able to really run the high line. Bobby was able to, you were able to, and Dana. We know Dana can drive anywhere, and you can drive just about damn it. You could probably ride the catch fence around the wall if you wanted to. But we definitely saw that the upper line, as much as iRacing has tried to kill it, the upper line was the fast line, and we saw several times people going up there stalling out the upper line just to keep the momentum down the bottom. But when we had the big one there, that kind of equalized everything and set us up for the green-white checker. And honestly, I thought that we were going to see a green run to the end there, but we did see the cars that come out. But we still did see one hell of a finish as you guys did race it back to the line. And I think that was probably, what, maybe about 12 X's between you and Dwayne alone just there and maybe a half a lap?
Yep. Yeah, that definitely was 12X. Exactly what I had before I started hitting everything after we crossed the line.
We knew it was going to be interesting when we saw a rough pace car, and we knew that Brett Bodine was going to be pissed off, and he was even more pissed that he didn't spend more time leading the most laps as the pace car, as I think tonight is the shining example of what you guys can actually do by going 75 out of the 90 laps green flag. And with this being another special sponsored race, Wells and back throwing down some money here, doing the Hope for Paws 230. Bringing it home in second place has got to be a good feeling, knowing that it's a great point scoring position. Who you want to thank out there?
I want to thank Dwayne, Jim, putting this on every week. I love this league. It's one of my favorite leagues. And you guys do such an awesome job. Matt for sponsor, my teammates, and everyone for coming out on Saturday night and being a part of this.
Well, once again, hell of a finish, hell of a race, and you're no stranger up here in the booth. I think you're one of the top 5 when it comes to TV time here. So hopefully next week when we move on to Daytona with the K&N cars, we'll see you up here in the booth again.
Thank you. Have a good night, Art.
All right, that was our second place finisher. Now we're going to bring in both the race winner, Dana Osborne, and just for shits and giggles, we see Mark's down there. We're going to bring in both of them, and we're going to see just exactly how much insanity comes with this one. All right, Danny, you brought her home with the race win, but Mark, you got anything smart-ass and funny to say first before Dana gets serious?
Beating my meat on a toilet seat, doo-dah. Beating my meat till I can't see straight. That's all I got, man. I got to work on it.
Do you still have that concussion from last week's race at Monza?
Oh man, no, we got over that, man. Fucking man, hell of a team performance right there. Want to congratulate Dana on the win. Art,
Yeah, I
Mike,
appreciate it. That's
Die
awesome.
Hard TV, man. I'm watching some of it right now. Them guys getting crazy, doing some victory donuts for finishing second and third or whatever. I mean, Dana needs to be out there burning it down. But man, that was just an awesome team performance.
All of you guys deserve a tip of the hat. You guys went 75 out of the 90 laps green flag before we saw the first clusterfuck in turn 3. That was absolutely amazing.
Hell yeah, it was, man. It was an awesome race, man. That was real fun. Real fun.
Now, the one thing in particular that we saw is no matter how much iRacing tries to kill the outside line on plate tracks, you guys never cease to fail to amuse and entertain us, as that outside line was the place to be. It looked like y'all were playing Frogger for a while. It almost looked like a pro Mazda race where you have to keep jumping cars. The inside line just had so much checkup, just like it has in the official series. And I just want to put out there, I fucking hate every single person that's been running the official series this week because I've been wrecked, upside down, on fire. I think my underwear fell off in one of them. Hell, I'm done running the official shit, but you guys did a hell of a job tonight. This is the way plate racing is supposed to look, and Dana, you brought it home with the win.
Heck yeah, thank you guys, man. This is just. I wasn't expecting to win it tonight. I was going to push Mark to the win. I was going to do my best and my damnedest to get him there. But hey, I pulled it off and took it, you know. I mean, I don't know what happened behind me. I ain't watched the replays or anything, but man, that was just awesome.
Well, we knew that when it came down to a green-white checker, it was either going to be we're going to see something really epic, or there's going to be a lot of death and there's going to be body parts all over the track. We don't really know if there was any body parts on the track, but we do know that there was some death behind. But we did see that great, I think it was a 3-wide finish where everybody was door slamming to the line, racing it back, which is something that not a lot of leagues do. They'll sit and make you actually slow down. But Dwayne, being the awesome person that he is, not afraid to go up there and slam doors with both you and Justin. You bring home the race win, max points night, and 3 out of the top 5 was all Southern Thunder there, so you can't beat that.
Heck no, we all did a great job tonight, man. Thanks to Mark, thanks to Dwayne and Paul. I hate he got wound up in some shit tonight, but, you know, we'll get him next week, Paul.
And next week, as we move on with the K&N cars at Daytona, those have to be my favorite cars, and probably y'all's favorite cars to race too, because they're the fastest fucking cars out there. At Monza, you guys are doing 225 miles an hour. Normally, we see 208 at Daytona and Talladega, and I know that you guys run a league set. I think that might be for 07, but still, the K&N car has to be my favorite car to run because it takes the most skill, even though it's the least powered car that is run on the plate tracks, seeing how the front of the car is basically faced like a shovel and the back of it's flatter than a kindergartner's ass.
That's it, man. That K&N car's fast, but, man, that front end's tricky, though.
Well, not to take away from it, congratulations again on the race win, Dana. Is there anybody else out there that you'd like to thank before we wrap things up? And then we'll also get with you, Mark, too, for hopefully for some more Mark Twainism there.
I want to thank you guys for putting this show on. I mean, I love going back and watching the replays and, you know, just watching the broadcast. You know, it just, y'all do a great job. And, you know, I want to thank y'all for that. And I want to thank Dwayne for putting on this league. He does an awesome job with it. And thank the rest of the guys just for everything, you know. Thank you all.
We absolutely love being here. I love covering plate track races, and this is pretty much like my second home. So once again, congratulations on the race win, Dana. Now, Mark, give me something to work with because I got that fucking thing that you came in here with stuck in my head.
Man, I don't have nothing, man. We're gonna go. Yeah, that was it, man. I just had to come in here and kind of give a couple verses of let y'all hear my great, sounding Texas ass, but no, man, I'm looking forward to next week. K&N cars are a blast. Like Dana was saying, the front ends, being the shape of a damn shovel, they kind of get cars jacked up in front of them. It's really easy to turn them. But, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
Well, you guys definitely kicked ass tonight, and hopefully next week y'all do the same. I know Paul has got a wicked set for these trucks here, and it proved to show its face here tonight as you guys dominated the race. And next week when we move on to the fixed cannons, I look forward to seeing all y'all out there. But once again, congratulations on Max Points nights for Southern Thunder and Dana once again for the win. And we'll see you guys next week.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a
Thank
good
you. Take care.
All right, Mike, any final words?
That was an awesome fucking race to watch. I mean, that was 75 laps green here is that's no feat, and it really shows what Dwayne puts on here, and Jim and Matt for sponsoring that, and then just a touch on that. That's a great cause. Adopting is extremely important. There's so many animals that are killed. They're left in shelters, and if you can donate or do anything to help, even if it's not the one that Matt's sponsoring, just any animal shelter that can, especially a no-kill shelter, that's really important to me. But it was a great night. A great run by all these guys. You had, what you expect in stage 3, guys beating and banging the shit out of each other, and you're gonna get wrecked. But for 75 laps, cleanest racing I've ever seen in this league.
And I have to agree 100% with you on the animal situation. Seeing how all my dogs, I have never. Well, actually, I take that back. The only dog that was ever bought from a vet shop was when I was a fucking kid. Every single dog that I have owned, I've either personally rescued from an abusive asshole owner that later I took him to court and had him arrested for animal cruelty, or I've gone to my local vet's office and adopted some dogs. I've had several of them over the years. As a matter of fact, the one that comes to mind the most was a pit bull boxer mix that when we got him, the owners, I literally had to pull him out from underneath of a double wide trailer because the owners ran him over with a car. They broke one of his hips and dislocated the other one. They had him on a big chain. They weren't feeding him. So I went over there, beat the shit out of the guy who owned the house, took the dog and told him, if you're not going to take care of this dog, I'm either going to kick your ass and take the dog and I'm going to pay for it. But the dog literally was walking on his front legs, and he was the most loyal dog I ever had. And it's a shame that when he died, he broke loose from his collar, and I guess he just didn't want to be around me when he died because of the bond we had. And honestly, the bond that I have with my dogs rivals that with my children. So to have a sponsor come on board like Hope for Paws, that definitely touches home with me big time, with being such an avid dog lover that I am. It doesn't matter if what people brand dogs like pit bulls, Dobermans, Rottweilers. I've had some of the meanest looking dogs come up to me and they'll just sit down and wag their tail, or they'll let me pet them where nobody else has been able to touch them. So it's great to have a sponsor come on board for a single race like Hope for Paws. We also want to thank Jim with Homes Now Not Later for coming on as the main series sponsor. Once again, Dwayne for putting this whole league together. He does an amazing job week in, week out. All the drivers for showing up, everybody for showing up every week watching this. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time on Dwayne's part, me and Mike's time, all the drivers for coming out doing this. So we just want to thank each and every one of you who tunes in and week out and watching us. We enjoy especially putting on the Saturday night series because we kind of get to take the filters off of our mouth and have a little bit more fun because we've got a very, very animated group of drivers here that they just like to cut up and have fun, and it's great that we have a place that we can do that at, whereas Sunday night being on the portal, we have to kind of drift away from that, put on our serious faces, and that's just another prime example of why I love being in this league, broadcasting it so much, and I know, Mike, you enjoy it so much as well because we get to just cut back and be ourselves. But tomorrow night, once again, we will be live at 7:15 p.m. Central Standard Time on the iRacing portal with the Die Hard Racing League's JMR Outdoors American Hero Hunt Cup Series as we take to the track here at Talladega in the Monster Energy Cup cars, where I think we're going 90 laps, I believe. I might be wrong on that one, but we are going to be taking to the track tomorrow night. It's going to be an amazing race. It's going to come down to teamwork and strategy with that, but that's going to do it tonight for us here. Once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody at Cyber Racing, Homes Now, Hope for Paws, everybody who puts this thing together, the viewers out there. So for everybody here at Die Hard Live TV, Cyber, Hope for Paws. Homes now. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next Saturday.